Hello, everybody. Apparently, I work for Microsoft now. I don't think I do. If somebody can get the first slide, unless I can get it up. No, hang on. Can somebody get my first slide up? I'm not with Microsoft, I'm with Vodafone. Unless I've been silently headhunted and nobody told me. No. It's got a big picture of the Terminator sitting at a desk. And we'll give them a minute to see if they can get the right one up. Might be a very short presentation if we don't. Can anybody help me out here with the right slide? Okay. Okay, look, we'll... Okay. Do we have any jokes? Don't know. I feel like I should come up with an AI-related joke, but I don't think I've got any. Maybe I should chat GTP that. Shall I ask chat GTP for a joke to fill in there? Yeah, yeah. I've actually got a joke in my presentation, but I might have to wing it if we don't get there. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just roll with it. The slides can catch up with me when they're ready. So my name's Nick. I'm a UX strategist, and I work for Vodafone in the UK. I work really closely with the design team, with the researchers. I'm also a UX researcher myself. And I work on digital products for millions of people all around Europe and Africa and beyond. But what I'm not is an expert in AI. Sorry. And what I'm also not here to do is to tell you anything about what Vodafone are up to. I'm not going to tell you anything about the products. I'm not going to tell you our philosophies towards AI. Oh, there we go. There we go. Woohoo! So 100% not an AI expert, and 100% not here to talk about Vodafone either. This is my big disclaimer slide. This is my thoughts, not theirs. But you might be thinking, well, Nick, you're at an AI conference, right? There's an audience full of business leaders here to learn about AI, and loads of really talented people from all around the world talking about AI. What the hell are you doing here? Well, I'm here exactly because I'm not an expert in AI. I'm just a guy who started his AI journey, and I'm just trying to figure out my place in a changing world and what it means for me and my job, and just trying to survive in the AI Wild West. And I'm trying to stay relevant, employable, and out of trouble. And that's pretty much a metaphor for most of us here. And certainly if you're business owners, it's exactly what the people working for you are going to be up against. So I'm here today as a kind of proxy, just to remind all of you movers and shakers and thought leaders and business owners to not forget the people on your payroll who are going to be tasked with actually putting this stuff into action and delivering great business outcomes and great outcomes for your customers. Because if those people are anything like me and my colleagues and my friends who I spoke to about this, we're all feeling the same thing. We're all scared, excited, curious, and confused about this big, shiny AI future that we're looking into. And we've got good reason to feel all those things, because according to the International Monetary Fund, almost 40% of global employment is exposed to AI, and 60% of jobs are going to be impacted. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean 60% of jobs are going to go, but they're going to change, and some of them are going to change quite fundamentally. So I'm here with a bit of a plea, all right? Don't forget the humans in the AI equation, and build empathy to the people on your payroll that are going to be delivering the stuff for you, because we're going to need to work together. We're going to stop the killer robots taking all of our jobs, yours included. Because empowered, confident, equipped people plus AI is going to result in truly transformative businesses. But people who are unsupported, uneducated, and unprepared for AI with those tools in their hands could be a recipe for disaster for them and for your businesses too. Because we've got an agenda too, as the people on your payroll. We are trying to stay relevant, employable, and out of trouble. And there's only one way we're going to do that, and that's by actually getting our hands on the tools and playing with them and figuring out how they work and making some mistakes and understanding the power of what they can give us. But a lot of businesses are quite reluctant to let us do that at the moment. They're sticking AI behind a big locked door with some very scary bouncers, and our name's not on the guest list yet. But that creates a catch-22 situation. Because as businesses, and as thought leaders, and as employees, we're going to need to understand these tools to get the most out of them. We need to play with them and break them and feel them out a little bit, because that's the only way we're going to learn how to master them. And mastering the AI tools is the thing that's going to really help us excel and fly and put ourselves as employees and businesses ahead of the competition and do things differently. But at the same time, businesses are understandably really nervous, and they're not letting us get our hands on those tools to play with yet. But let's start off with why businesses might be feeling this. And there's some really good reasons for this. So first of all, there's the sort of the privacy part of this. So large language models, LLMs, and the sort of consumer-facing generative AI tools that we use naturally, by their own definition, grow and evolve by the things that we put in them. They learn from the data we put in, they learn from the questions we ask, they learn from how well we tell them they're doing. But that means that whatever we put in becomes part of that learning model. It becomes part of the big stew of information that it then passes and spits back out again. And it means that we lose some control of the things that we put in there. If you've got sensitive business data, you've got proprietary business product information, you've got customer data, and you're using these great tools to analyze it and make sense of it and do all these crazy things with it, if you put it in there without the right guardrails, you're going to lose control of it. We've already seen some companies fall foul of that when private information stops being so private and other people can find it because it's all become part of the learning model. There are safe ways to do this. You can ring fence your data. You can build sort of data oceans and data lakes where the stuff that you analyze doesn't leak back out into the training model, but those things take time and money and expertise to get in place. And the train's already in motion with AI, and you might not have time to wait. The other angle is the hallucination angle. So I'm guessing most of you know what hallucination means in terms of AI, but in case you don't, it's basically when AI spits out some absolutely bonkers or completely untrue output, but often does it in a really, really convincing way. And that's where the danger lies. I actually had a bit of an example of this myself. So a while ago, I was asked to pull some stats together for a presentation proving the return of investment of a design team within a business, something that's very sort of close to my heart. Now, normally I'd spend days and days looking at white papers and reports, getting really, really credible kind of like sources for all these stats. But I thought, you know what, I'll have a bit of an experiment and I'll see what ChatGPT can do. Now, I've done a bit of prompt engineering training. I know how to kind of structure a good prompt. Thought I'd done it completely watertight and chucked in my prompt to ChatGPT. And within seconds, got 10 of the most amazing, perfect stats back that you could ever imagine. I was like, this is brilliant. This has saved me days and days. But then, as a researcher, my little Spider-Man spidey sense started going, and I was like, this is a bit too good to be true. So I started looking into all these sources that came up and all these stats, and not a single one of them actually exists. Because certainly with the version of ChatGPT I was using at the time, it's not your robot butler. Right? It's a finely tuned crowd pleaser. It puts out what you think, what it thinks you want, really. It's like a little puppy trying to please you. So what it done is it had gone through and it had assembled all these statistics, but they weren't real. It had just taken statistics like the one I was looking for and kind of averaged them out. The same with the publisher of this. A typical big agency like McKinsey or Bain does this, so I'm going to say it's McKinsey because they're the most likely. It even averaged out the most likely name of a person that would have authored something like this and the most likely date it would have come out. So I actually ended up with 10 completely useless statistics that were told in an utterly convincing way. Now, because I'm a trained researcher and I had my spidey sense, I looked into those. But how many people would just take that on face value? How many people would take those stats and then go build a business case or argue something? There's plenty of lawyers that have come unstuck because ChatGPT has hallucinated case law and they find themselves suddenly being disbarred. Because utter mistruth told with utter conviction is a very dangerous cocktail. Particularly proud of that slide. Took me ages to prompt engineer that one. There's a particularly dangerous cocktail. And then obviously there's the cybersecurity angle as well. We can see how bad actors and hackers are using AI tools to con users and employees out of very sensitive information that could be used to, sorry, totally ignoring my mic there. Sorry, everybody online that's been listening to my knee for the past 10 minutes. So I hope my knee was more informed than I am about AI. But yeah, so these tools are being used to convince people that hackers are not who they say they are, and getting information out that can compromise your systems. And also, we can just look at the current elections around the world to see how misinformation can be spread and brands and reputations can be damaged by increasingly sophisticated AI tools. So is it any wonder that big businesses and small businesses are cautious, risk-averse, and restrictive about letting their employees use AI tools? But we also need to appreciate the perspective of the people on the payroll as well, because we're looking up at a big, scary killer robot future where we don't know what our jobs are going to look like, or even if we're still going to have jobs. So we need to understand why it's really important for the people on the coalface of delivering this stuff to get to grips and master these AI skills, because it's about our very survival. And to do that, here comes that joke I warned you about. I'm going to tell you a joke, right? So 2 safari rangers are in the middle of the Serengeti, and they find themselves staring down a big, hungry lion. And this guy, the first ranger, takes off his backpack, calmly bends down, takes out a pair of running shoes. He ties them on. And his mate goes, "What are you doing? You are never going to outrun a fully grown, hungry male lion." And his mate goes, "I know, but as long as I outrun you, I'm going to be fine." And that's kind of the situation we're in at the moment. We're trying to outrun the big, hungry techno AI lion that is really smart and might do our job better than us and might be taking our jobs. But we're actually also fighting this battle on 2 fronts, because we're not just outrunning the lion, we're also outrunning our fellow safari rangers, because they're also trying to skill up. It's an arms race to learn the AI skills and stay employable and relevant and hopefully out of trouble. And in the short term, it might actually be the safari rangers and not the lion who are the biggest threat. This quote from economist Richard Baldwin, I think, sums it up. AI won't take your job. It's somebody using AI that will take your job. Essentially, if people know how to do the job you're doing, but with all the advanced capabilities of AI, then you're in trouble. Because the advantages of using AI are huge. AI can be your perfect wingman, helping you out on your day-to-day tasks to do your job better. It could be your servant, outsourcing all the stuff that you don't want to do. And it could be your master sensei, who for some reason is wearing some lovely gloves there, who can teach you all the skills that you need to know to take your job to new heights. And it really can take your job to new heights. We're entering an era where humans plus AI means that they can do things that humans alone can't do. And they can save time and money and take all those boring bits off of your plate. And the reality as well is that if you don't adopt AI tools now, you're going to be competing against people who are, and you're going to have to work a lot harder to do the same thing. And the results are probably going to still end up being worse than the people you're competing against. Because the barriers to adoption to AI are quite high. And at the moment, as employees, we're kind of like this kid up against the toy shop window. We can see all the cool toys in there, and we're just desperate to play with them. But most of them don't come with instructions. And actually, half of the toy makers don't even understand how their own toys work. And mum and dad, our employers, have taken all these cool toys and they've locked them away in a toy box. And they've swallowed the keys to the playroom. And we can't get in there to figure it out for ourselves. But we do figure it out, because just like Jurassic Park, nature finds a way. So we're starting to play with these tools on our own terms, on our own time, out of work, sometimes in work. I guarantee if you wander around any big office in Europe right now, don't care what their AI policy is, there'll be plenty of people who are going to be using ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude all under the desk to do their job better, easier, and smarter, whether their boss likes it or not. But the problem is, we're currently in this Wild West, and we're picking up bad habits. We're figuring out hacks that maybe work in one situation and not in the other. And at the moment, it's kind of scary, because we've all got a feeling that we don't quite understand what we're doing. And this could blow up in our face at any time. And sometimes we don't even know, we don't know what we don't know until it's there. We don't know the dangers of it until it suddenly becomes dangerous. And also, while we're all worried about keeping our current jobs and advancing up the corporate ladder with all these shiny AI skills, those jobs, might get stolen by the crazy killer robots if we're unlucky. And the problem is, everybody out there who is getting familiar and mastering the AI tools, they're already using those skills to find the next job as well. They're optimizing their CVs. They're figuring out how to game all the HR systems. Some people are even answering interview questions with ChatGPT live, just out of sight with the interviewees. So if you fall behind at work because you're lacking the AI skills, you're also going to be lacking the AI skills when you're looking for that next job as well. The truth is, we're all in the same boat, employers and employees together. We're sailing towards a big unknown future. And there are no rules. We're all just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that some answers emerge. And one thing's for certain, we know that standing still, paralysis means death, and we're going to get left behind. So what can you do while we're all waiting for the plan to drop out the sky? Well, that plan is not going to drop out the sky, and if it does, you can't afford to wait for it. So you need to start building your own plan. Whether you're an employee or an employer, you need to get on this now before it gets away from you. And the way to do that is to put your role under the spotlight, either as a business or an employee, and you need to figure out where AI is going to be a threat and where it's going to help, and you need to have a plan to get ahead of that. And I haven't got the answers, it's not going to drop out the sky, but I've got a few tips to get the ball rolling about how I'd approach something like this. Because if you do it right, you're going to find your job enhanced, and you'll do things better, faster, cheaper, and safer, and hopefully, by getting rid of all the boring bits and outsourcing that to AI, it'd be more damn fun as well. So how do you go about building your plan? Well, I want you to think about 4 questions. First of all, what's the stuff that you, as an individual or a business, can do better than AI? Then I want you to think about the stuff you can't do, but you'd like to do. What are the skills that are complementary that would, in an ideal world, take you to the next level that you can't do at the moment? Then I want you to think about the stuff that you have to do day to day but hate doing. And finally, I want you to think about the stuff that AI will do or is already doing better than you. You need to focus on the top 2, the high-value ones, because these are the ones that are going to set you apart from the people and businesses that you're competing against. And then the ones in red at the bottom, the lower-value ones, these are the ones where you use AI to try and take that off your plate. So let's have a look at that first one, stuff I can do better than AI. Well, you can even use AI to make that even better. You can amplify your existing skills, your most defensible things, the things that make you an amazing rock star employee or business, and then you can use AI to make that gap even bigger. If you're a great designer, it can amplify your creativity, and it can cut out some of the design work. If you're a coder, it can check your code. If you're a copywriter, it can help you get rid of all the boring formatting bits and let you concentrate on telling a great story. For the stuff you can't do but you want to do, then plug the gaps with AI. Use it as a coach and collaborator. This is where it gets really interesting. If you're a rock star designer, but you can't code, well, AI can help you turn your designs into a website without even picking up a line of code. If you're on the other side and you're an engineer, and you've got a great idea for a product, but you're not a designer, and maybe words aren't your forte, then AI can help with that too. Then you've got the stuff you have to do but hate. So this is the day-to-day boring admin stuff that gums up the wheels and stops you concentrating on the high-value stuff. Well, let's delegate that to AI. Let's get AI to sort out your email, schedule your meetings, maybe even turn up to all the boring meetings you don't want to go to as a robot version of you and take all the notes as if you were there. But, and this is a big but in the short term, check its bloody homework because it's not that good yet. And then you've got the stuff that AI will do better than you. And I'm afraid to tell you, The battle's already been lost here. But that doesn't mean you still can't prove some value there. Because if you're good at the stuff that AI is already getting good at, then you know what good looks like, and you've got to step up on everybody else who's trying to do it. So if you become a master at prompting and wrangling AI to do these bits that are still very valuable, then you're going to be one step ahead of the people you're competing against. If you're a business, amplify your humans. AI is not about replacing people, it's about augmenting them. And you need to come up with a plan for that as well. So the first thing I do there is sit down and figure out where it could all go wrong. What is the worst case scenario, DEFCON 10, that can happen if you let your employees run wild with AI? How could they break your business? If you're not an expert in this stuff, hire somebody who is, or consult somebody who is, or employ somebody who is, and figure out exactly how and where and when you do and don't want your employees to use AI. And then codify that, write it down, make it the rules, make it the guidelines, make it the guardrails, and share this as early as you can. Don't wait. Get version 1 up and running now, because your employees are already playing with the toys and they don't know what they can and can't do with it. Then the genie's already out of the bottle and it might be too late. And also, just start building your skills as well now. I mean, there's tons of online courses out there. Don't wait for the perfect training manual to drop in your lap. There's loads of great free, credible tools from the likes of Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, IBM, and Harvard University that will teach you the base skills that you can build on later when you figure out what you want to do with it. Go and fill your social feeds with inspiration. There's tons of people out there on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram doing amazing things, and they're experimenting for you. You could just watch what they do and then copy the results. Here are some of my favorites, but just go and explore and just go and get inspired by what people are doing. Experiment, but in a safe way. So your business might not be in a position where it's comfortable with chucking in customer data or business data yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't start learning how to talk to data and how to use it. And there's loads of great open source data sources out there, like Kaggle.com, the WHO, data.gov, and NASA, where you can download some really interesting data sets and begin to explore it and find out what AI can do with it. Then there's events and meetups. Obviously, you guys are ahead of the curve on this one because you're here, but keep an eye on Google and Eventbrite and Meetup, because really interesting AI-related talks and events are happening all around the world right now. And go and play outside of work. Find safe ways to go and experiment with all these things. If it's your kid's birthday coming up, go and have a crack at designing the invitations on Midjourney. If you're about to go on holiday, go and get ChatGPT to be your robot tour guide and plan your itinerary for you. Or maybe you can go and use Gemini to help create a picture book for your grandkids. Because learning these skills outside of work is only going to help your confidence with a 9 to 5. But the real magic happens when humans and machines work together. The thing here is to take all that messy and wonderful human talent and experience and judgment and empathy and to boost it with all these new amazing toys and creative skills that are coming out. All these things that can take creativity to the next level, take the boring things off your plate, help you analyze oceans of data in real time. Because AI is here and it's here to stay. We can't run from it. We've got to embrace it, and we've got to see it as a partnership. Because if we do work together, it's going to take us to places we can't even imagine yet. So this is my final plea to you, everybody. Let's build wingmen, not Terminators. Thank you very much.